Okay, Wednesday the 19th, we're back to lower body. We have 2 parts, 4, 5, or 6 rounds, and then part 2 we have donkey kicks 4 reps. So in part 1 we have weighted lateral lunges, sumo squat with calf raise, split squats, and elevated heel squats, and then part 2, like I said, is our donkey kicks 4 reps. Weighted lateral lunges. You can hold the weight a multitude of different ways. Okay, switch sides. Sumo squat with calf raise. Calf on the way up. Calf on the up. Calf on the up. Split squats, you don't have to use weight, but you can. And elevated heel air squats. So we haven't done these before, but you can use your dumbbell, or if you have plates, like small plates, you're just gonna put your heel up, make sure that they're fairly even. We're not using any weight. So just your heels are elevated while you're squatting, okay? Donkey kicks. And switch sides. Okay. Weighted lateral lunges. So our lateral lunge is a step out to the side. Now our whole body is going to go to this side. So we step out to the side. We're going to sink diagonal back. So now this knee is bent, this leg is straight. Our butt is diagonal back on this side. And then we return. So down, sink diagonal, up. To the side, sink diagonal, up, okay? So from the side, you should look like this. It almost looks like you're in a regular squat. From this side, it looks like this, okay? Now, to add weight, again, you can hold it a few different ways. I think my favorite is this way. So I just hold the weight in the opposite leg I'm stepping out on, and I step, and as I go down, I just bring my weight down. I don't necessarily worry about touching my toe or the floor. I just kind of bring it down in that area. Down. Making sure that when I do come down, my back is still straight and I'm not slouching at my shoulder and rounding my back, okay? You can hold it up here. It's up to you, it doesn't matter, and you can also do it with no weight. Sumo squat with calf raise. This one, you could add a weight. I didn't because I always get so focused on the toe part that I think if I had a weight, it would just throw me off too much. So your sumo squat is when you have a wider stance squat with your toes pointed out. So noticeably, when we do a regular squat, you can be here, you can be here. With a sumo, it's very noticeable that your feet are turned out, okay? By turning your feet out, you're putting more focus on your inner thigh. So that's where you should feel your sumo squat, on your inner thigh, not on, well, you'll feel it on the top, so you might feel it in your butt, but you should feel a stretch on your inner thigh, okay? Here, up. This is your sumo. Now, what we're doing is we're adding a calf raise. So, you go down, on your way up, you raise up on your toes, okay? So it's not gonna be a big raise because you're already wide stanced with your sumo. So you could even bring it in a little bit if you feel like you need to. Squat, and then I just kind of go like this. I basically, when I come up, I kind of squeeze my butt and I put my arms out like that, and that helps me for whatever reason. That's what I do, okay? So sumo, up, sumo, up, sumo, up. And again, it's not gonna be this like, it might not be a giant calf raise, that's fine, but you're still gonna feel it. You're definitely gonna notice it. Split squats. So you don't need to use weight for this. If you're going to add weight, just put a weight in each hand. Your split squat is kind of like your lunge stance, but you never move out of it, okay? So your railroad, meaning you can see both feet, everything's pointing forward, and I'm just gonna sink down and then stand back up. So I'm up on my toe, and this foot is flat, but I'm never actually moving my feet anywhere. They're staying exactly where they are, and I'm just sinking down into my squat or my lunge, back up, down, up, down, up, down, up, okay? This one is also harder than it looks. If you are somebody who has difficulty balancing, or sometimes, like I was saying, on my carpet, it can be difficult. So if you need help, I would use no weight, and I would hold on to something while I do it. Lastly, we have the elevated heel air squat. So we all know how to squat at this point, I think, and you're just doing an air squat. Air squat means no weight. Unfortunately, you really can't do this sitting if you have to sit. So you could just do a regular squat in place or some sort of other variation. You're just gonna put your heels right up on the middle of your dumbbell. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just stepping up onto the dumbbell with my heels, making sure I feel like I'm secure, I'm not gonna roll away. And then I just hit my squat. So when you do this, you're getting a bigger range of motion, just like we talked about with our calf raises, or there was one other thing that about our chest press. So when something is elevated, it gives you more room. So when you do your calf raises and you're on that height, your heel can drop lower. Now, because our heel is on the height, our butt can drop lower. We have more room under our body than we normally do if our heels were not elevated. So now we're actually gonna get a much deeper squat than we normally do just because our heels are up, okay? And then we have our donkey kicks for reps. So you're going to pick how many you wanna do. I encourage you to do all of one side before switching because that makes it much harder. But if it's already really hard for you, then you can go, 20, 20, 20, 20, whatever. But I always try to finish one leg first before moving on. So our donkey kicks, we are kneeling. And I like to start up on my toes. So from here, I go up on my toes. And I'm gonna keep my leg in the exact form that it is. And I'm gonna think about kicking my heel through the ceiling. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you should really feel that in your butt. If you are keeping that leg bent and you're keeping your foot flexed, when you hit this top position like I am right now, I can feel it. I can feel it in my butt and I can feel it a little bit in my lower back. So that is what you are aiming to do. So make sure that you're not swinging, make sure that you're taking your time and you're hitting that top position because that's where you're gonna get your full contraction, which is gonna work your muscle the most. So that's why I like to keep it nice and slow. I like to keep my foot flexed. And like I said, I think about I'm trying to push the ceiling with my heel. So when I hit that top spot, I am fully flexed and I can feel it, okay? That is your Wednesday.